Hey, so just got finished watching When Evil Lurks from 2023. I streamed it on Shudder. Yeah, this video is going to be a quick sort of review and my thoughts on the film. So, like, my initial reaction was, I was expecting something really great, and whilst it's a well made, well acted film that is good, with an interesting narrative and some good special effects and whatnot. And it does, it ticks a lot of boxes for a horror fan. And yeah, there's no way it's a bad film or anything. But for me, I just felt like it was a little bit middle of the road. I didn't love the film at all. I've just logged it on Letterboxd on my phone. I'm using Letterboxd because I thought I'd screen record. Because it's on Shudder, I haven't really got like a disc or anything or a menu or like a Blu-ray disc to show. So I'll refresh this and it should come up. There it is. So When Evil Lurks. This may contain a few spoilers. This little review on the movie. So I put it in a poll. I did a poll of 4 Shudder films that I haven't seen from last year, and then one from this year that's got released a couple of weeks ago. I think that was called Kill All Neighbours or Destroy All Neighbours, I think it was. When Evil Lurks won by a landslide. I have been meaning to watch this. I've been hearing great things about it. I know a lot of genre fans have really liked it and are into it. It's a co-US and Argentinian production. The native language of the film is Spanish, so there was no dub or anything, so I did watch it in Spanish and read the subtitles. I followed the film quite well. I thought aspects of it were a little bit all over the place. It's a good film, and it's a very bleak film as well, and I'm sure a lot of other people have reviewed it have said that it's very bleak, very dark, very downbeat. So we'll talk about the story a little bit. I might read the synopsis off here. So as you can see, I've got the cursor over it. It says, "There's no point in praying. Residents of a small rural town discover that a demon is about to be born among them. They desperately try to escape before the evil is born, but it may be too late." So these guys, they obviously are aware that something's going on, and they decide to go and investigate, and they find a torso in the woods. It's basically been split into two. They visit this guy's house. He's infected with something, and residents keep saying things like, it's kind of like it's an evil that basically infects people and whatnot. And it kind of goes through there. It's like it's weird. It's like it looks what appears to be a virus that makes them all kind of like infected, and lots of big pussy bits. I said pus, pus, lots of bits with pus. Very icky, very gross stuff. And it kind of goes from there, and they're worried about it spreading. And the guy who's infected initially even says, if you kill me, it's going to spread even more. So they, and there's a scene in particular where this guy shoots a goat. I'm not going to reveal too much about the film. I said there'd be a few spoilers, which there will be, but I just want to talk briefly about it. I think I will watch this one again because it warrants it. There's just some images on Google from the film, all different posters and things and whatnot. Stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just click off there, and I think I'll go off this as well. Just put the menu up there. I know it's a bit boring to look at, but I didn't really know how to sort of what to do for this video apart from just talk about the film. So anyway, the goat's he shoots the goat, blows its head off. Very gory film as well. Some good special effects, bit of CGI in there. I think, I could be wrong, it might all be practical, but I think some of it looks a bit CGI'd, and there is obviously some practical realistic stuff in there, but it's pretty realistic looking film. They didn't go way overboard with the gore. Gory enough and brutal enough, but not to a ridiculous over the top extent, which I normally like. I like these films to kind of lean into it and be, rather extremely over the top. Anyway, regardless, so the goat's killed. Immediately the woman plunges an axe into the man, into his head. He's dead, her husband. Then something's up and she just starts hacking her face with the axe. So then you have Pedro and his brother. They go to pick up Pedro's kids in the sort of the slightly like more suburban area of the town, and his ex-wife's there with her partner. Pedro's been a bit crazy, like I said, burn my clothes, because obviously he's worried about spreading this sort of like evil infection or what have you. So she's like, why are you naked? He's like, they need burning, get me clothes. He ends up wearing some new clothes, obviously provided by her partner, his ex's partner. They burn the clothes. The dog has obviously been infected. Suddenly just grabs the little girl when nobody's looking. His not his actual daughter, his ex's daughter, I think, with this other guy. He's got two sons. One of them has autism, and then one of them's a younger kid, younger than the one with autism. And this little girl, anyway, has been mauled by the dog, and the dog runs off with her. And things just advance from there, really. And he picks his mum up and stuff, and he's got his two sons. His ex ends up getting killed, but then coming back, obviously infected, and takes his youngest son away. Then they go to stay at this woman's house who his brother has known from the past, called, I think she's called Myrta, if I recall right. I could be slightly off with the name, never mind, you get the gist, I suppose. And then the ex turns up infected at the house that they were staying overnight in the country, or what have you, like in the rural areas. And basically it turns into a bit of a trip, like they're trying to discover where this I did miss a bit out, actually, where the body is of the initial guy who was infected. They try to take him away at the beginning and dump his, get rid of him. He's still alive. They accidentally run over a kid on a bicycle, and they stop the truck, and they look, and he's gone. So he's escaped them, and obviously they're worried about that. And it turns into this kind of like, they're trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to happen. And what basically subsequently happens at the end is this sort of like, like a interpretation of the devil or Lucifer, is reborn out of this infection, because he bashes the initial guy. There's quite a brutal bit where he starts just bashing his head in. The original guy who was affected, the big sort of fat one with the with the pus areas and stuff. He's a big overweight guy, and he's really mutated and stuff, and he's saying you should have killed me and stuff, and he bashes his head in, and then suddenly out of the floorboards this sort of like boy emerges, like covered in blood, and it goes from there. And then Pedro, obviously, he's back home, and his autistic son's at the table and ends up consuming something, or that's got body parts in or something, or like his dog, the infected dog, and yeah, he starts Pedro starts pulling hair out of his mouth, and there's a lot of blood come out of there, and obviously he's infected with it too. So it's an infection movie. I'll just give my sort of like thoughts on it, like what I actually thought of the film. Sorry if I rambled on a bit there. A little bit tired. I just wanted to get this review done, but yeah, I quite liked it. I thought it was a fairly interesting film. I didn't think it was amazing. I thought this was going to be a lot better and even a bit more action-packed. There's enough action. Don't get me wrong there. There's enough action. There's enough brutality, enough violence. The narrative's fairly solid. These sort of like infection movies are kind of like, there's an abundance of them, and to me this didn't really break the mold. I know a lot of people are praising it, and I get that, but for me it was kind of middle of the road. I wasn't overly impressed by it as a film fan. I thought the direction was good, and I thought the acting was very good, and how it looked was very good indeed. The rural location the film's set, very interesting, scenic, good looking. It does have a lot going for it, this film. I just didn't think narratively it was the most original thing. It's just about kind of like an evil like infection, like a curse almost, like bit kind of like what you see in films like Evil Dead, kind of like, but different, and a bit more bleaker. And obviously a film like Evil Dead leans into it more, and they go absolutely nuts with it and over the top with the gore and stuff, which I enjoy more. This was a bit more like brutal, but a bit more realistic, if you will, so that it did have that going for it, like a sense of like realism, how it looked, and how they didn't it was brutal, but they didn't go way over the top. Over the top enough, but not as over the top as some films would. So yeah, I kind of liked it, and this does warrant a rewatch, and it's definitely one I would watch again. I don't think it's a bad film. Thanks for voting for it. I rate out 5 stars because I do Letterboxd, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. I know it's had some high ratings. It's got very good ratings actually, and I've read a lot of stuff on it, and apparently a lot of people were saying it's one of the best horror films of 2023. It's not one of my favourites from last year, but I thought it a very good film, mind you, but just not really quite. I couldn't get into it that much. Is probably what I'm trying to convey. It didn't connect with me that much. I'm not bothered that I had to watch it in Spanish. That doesn't bother me, like subtitles. I watched the 2021 film Lamb last week, and that's Icelandic, and I watched that in its native language, and I thought that was a fantastic film. I loved it. Really original and really interesting. This one, I didn't think it was that original, really. I thought it was a good film and a well-made film, but just not, it didn't connect with me, is what I'm trying to say. So 3 out of 5 for the When Evil Lurks. There's possibly room for a sequel on this one. I don't know if they'll make a sequel or any announcements been made, but there possibly could be room for a sequel to this film. Another sort of tale about the infection or whatnot. And that's just me rambling anyway. That was literally a ramble. I know, I just literally rambled on. But yeah, didn't quite connect with me When Evil Lurks, but I did enjoy it. Anyway, that's my review. So thanks for voting for it, which did kind of give me the kick and urge I needed to get down to watching it, because I've been looking forward to seeing it, and I have intended to watch it. So obviously having you guys vote for it actually gave me like a reason to watch it and do a quick review. So thanks a lot for that. That's the end of the review anyway. If you've got any comments about the film, if you watch this review, should I say, and you have any comments, do drop them in the comments section, because it's always good to talk. I always like talking about stuff through the comments. If you want to fill me in on anything, because I found it quite hard to follow, and I'm it's not because I didn't pay attention. I paid attention. And it's not even the Spanish language. I just found this one a little hard to follow. I don't know why. I don't know if it's me today. I've been a bit off today. I've not felt too good. I felt a bit under the weather, and I don't even know what's wrong with me. It's not even a cold or anything, or the flu, or a headache even. I've just really felt under the weather in some regard, and I just couldn't follow the film properly. I tried my best, but some things I just don't quite. I'm not too sure what they're trying to go for. I don't know if it's meant to be a little bit ambiguous, so I might be over sort of worrying that I didn't get it. I'm kind of worried that I didn't get certain parts and it's me, but maybe it's meant to be ambiguous. Maybe someone could fill me in who knows a lot about this film and is a bit of a buff. If you listen to this review, please drop a comment and see if you can enlighten me a little bit. But yeah, good film overall, just not the best I've seen lately, but yeah, pretty good. 3 out of 5. That's the end of the review anyway. Thanks for listening. Bye.